This video is brought to you by the No Fear community.
Andrei Volkov is the Dean of the SKOLKOVO Business School. Welcome. What can you tell us about SKOLKOVO and yourself?
SKOLKOVO Business School, it's a very new project in business education in Russia. We exist just 6 years, but from my point of view, very successful, very ambitious project. But what about myself? I'm a nuclear physicist by education and spent 7 years like a researcher, and already 22 years in education, trying to create new structure, new ideas in education world.
What is your personal history with the digital cowboys? How have they affected you personally?
Oh, the world is completely changed. I mean, the style of behavior, the style of communication between people dramatically changed. And from business perspective, from one side, it's very helpful. It creates speed, flat communication, I call this in this language. At the same time, the limitation from previous former organizations, the bureaucracy tried to keep the organizations itself, like it was 25 years ago. That's why it's a struggle or fight or contradiction in every type of organization. Business procedures, business orders, business routines, still like 20 years ago. At the same time, the human behavior, how people communicate, how people send information, how people send the message to each other, completely changed. And its internal contradiction exists everywhere.
Top young talents today are much more demanding towards their employers and corporations in general. Are they also more demanding about their education? And how do you see this affecting places like SKOLKOVO?
Generally speaking, I believe not only in Russia, globally, especially in developed countries, the university system, the professional education system, in a deep crisis. Why? Because we still running education system like 80, 60, 50 years ago. It's a siloed style of departments, independent from each other, people deeply involved in a very narrow type of research. But the world has changed. And young generation already demand a request from their side completely different. They would like to have a holistic view, comprehensive approach, systematic vision. They don't care about just one tiny small piece of information about, let's say, accounting. They don't care about this. They would like to see how they build a balance between corporate life and their private life. For them, it's much more interesting. That's that narrow piece of stuff. That's why the pressure from young generation is growing. Be honest with you, they not trust anymore to university system, to classical academic approach. And it will be a big challenge for all education, for all universities globally.
How would you like to see technology and social networking change universities and education in general?
I believe, as I said before, that universities are dragging behind. They are dragging behind of what going in a young generation. I don't know how quickly and how particularly, but I believe the university should be much more flat in communication with people. It means it's not just some great mentor teach me how to behave or how to build my career if I'm a student. No, it's much more cooperative, flat style of organization. So we are trying in our business school to involve people, to make people a really part of the discussion, part of the education program, not just from mentor to students. No, it's a cooperative style. Sometimes you can lose the faculty, lose the professor in a group of the people. You don't know where is the professor, because everybody communicates with each other on a flat style.
One of the arguments in No Fear, the book, is that top young talents today are not purely motivated by money like previous generations. They are more motivated by things like self-fulfillment. Do you see this change happening in Russia as well?
Yes and no. Still, most of the people struggling to be financially independent, economically sustainable, because they would like to see, I'm talking about young people, that they try to build, let's say, privacy or independency from the parents, from any kind of sponsors, from the corporation. That's why money for them is very important. But I would say it's growing, especially last 5, maybe 7 years. It's growing, it's like a wave of generation, wave of the people who would like to have meaningful job, something which produced values for the people. It's strange to hear because we were, especially last 15 years, pretty poor country, and the hunger for wealth is high. But at the same time, people would like to make something, as I said, meaningful, something special, not just routine job because of the money. No, and I agree with you. It's growing, and it will be big change in the next 10, 15 years. How people will care about values, what they're producing, what they create.
What kind of role do you see SKOLKOVO playing in the developments of the Russian economy and Russia in general, especially regarding leadership?
I hope we are playing very important role because our clients, big portion, big part of Russian biggest corporation. What we are doing there, we are taking 50 people from corporate and we jointly, together with CEO, together with vice presidents, trying to develop them. Not just giving them information and knowledge, but jointly develop strategic project, jointly defining the future of the corporation, jointly defining strategic view, strategic horizon of this company. That's why I hope and I believe we are making changes, not just only like a knowledge provider, but like an essential part of future development in Russia.
If you were to build a leadership program at SKOLKOVO around No Fear, the book, how would it be?
It's a good point. I believe 2 messages in this book, that leader not longer somebody who make order for their subordinates. No, leader who demonstrate his style of behavior and ready to do job himself. It's very important for our education, and we are trying to develop this approach. Building flat communication between people, let's say top -5 and CEO on the same level. We're building this style, like in this book, just in our education program. That's why this book is very relevant, and I was very happy to reading this book last night. And I believe Pekka, the author of the book, was it's a great book. It's a great book. It's very relevant for temporary business style in Russia. And I believe the success of this book definitely will happen in the next week or the next year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Спасибо.
Спасибо.
This video is brought to you by the No Fear community.